Right back at Giant with more Hot Wheels. See if there's anything different in here. Lucy. Rally Special. Alright, here's all the cars we found at Giant. Got some pretty cool castings here, especially the Mario Kart. We'll start with this skateboard casting. This is the Tony Hawk Skate Grom, or Skate Grom. I'm not really sure how it's pronounced. This is from the HW Sports series. It's actually a pretty big casting if you count the skateboarder that's attached to it. So we'll get this one out first. Looks really cool. Has some nice graphics on the actual skateboard. The skateboarder actually comes off, as you can see right there when I took it off. You got white wheels and a metal base as well. Very cool. Up next, we have the 2023 Nissan Z in that awesome blue from the Hot Wheels J Import series. This is pretty much identical to the Nissan Z prototype casting, with the exception of a couple of different colors and stuff. But look at that blue. That is awesome. Nice, kind of like that has kind of like a nice metallic finish to it. Very, very cool. Up next, we have the Rally Speciale in black from the HW Track Champs series. This is a cool looking casting. It's got a metal base, plastic body, different types of wheels on there. It's actually very fast too. Looks really cool. I like the tampos on there too. Goes great with the black. Up next, we have the 84 Mustang SVO from HW the 80s series. This is, I think, actually a new casting from Hot Wheels. Looks awesome in that silver. You have kind of the black intake on the hood, the nice stripes. Very cool looking casting for sure. Love the red interior too. Last but not least, we have the standard kart from the HW Screen Time series. Of course, this is from the Mario Kart game. That looks really cool. Been trying to find that one for a while because I do try to collect some of the Screen Time cars. We'll get out this one, last but not least. Looks really cool. There's actually more metal on this casting than I thought, too. Like the wheels on there and everything. It pretty much looks just like the one you would see in the game. They did a good job with that. All right, there's our lineup of cars we got from Giant. Was glad to stop there for sure. Now on to the next hunt. All right, I'm at a thrift store. Let's see if there's anything interesting in any of these. Here are these 6 cars that I found from Good Stuff Thrift. That was actually an unexpected stop that I made, but I was glad that I made it because I found that bin, or those several bins, I should say, of little cars that they had there. Each of these were 75 cents, and all of these are older Hot Wheels, with the exceptions of these two back here. This one's a Matchbox, and this one is by Racing Champions, but found some pretty cool castings here. Up first, we have this Matchbox Mercedes-Benz news van from the 1980s. It says Rock TV on the sides. It's a little bit on the beat-up side, but for 75 cents, I thought, why not get it? This does have the adjustable antenna up here, as well as the camera, which kind of goes up and down like that, and it does spin around too. Very cool. Next, we have the classic Hot Wheels fire truck, and kind of this orange and blue like splatter paint pattern. This actually was released in this, it wasn't like someone's custom job. Hot Wheels for a brief time in either the late 1980s or the early 1990s, maybe even the early 2000s, I'm not really too sure. They made a bunch of these castings with like a splash kind of paint pattern on them. And this fire truck was one of them. I forget what the exact name of this is called. But there are many variations of this out there. And I thought that this kind of blank orange version looked particularly cool. Especially with kind of like that blue, splatter pattern on there too. Up next, we have this Racing Champions Pontiac Grand Prix stock car. This is a 10th anniversary Racing Champions livery. I guess they released this to celebrate their 10th anniversary. I'm not sure when that would have been, but it has kind of a nice yellow and blue look to it with the Racing Champions logo on the front, and then you have other stuff on the side too. Decade of Diecast. I thought that was pretty cool. There was lots of other NASCAR cars in there too. I don't really collect those. I just happen to like this Racing Champions one because it had like their name on it and stuff. So I got it mostly for that reason. Up next, we have this GM Ultralight concept. This was kind of like a futuristic concept car that GM made around 1992 or so. And actually, in the movie Demolition Man from 1993, this was featured as a police vehicle, I think for San Francisco or something like that, but Hot Wheels did make their own version of it. This is a pretty like heavy casting too, kind of that classic black and white look as well. Up next, we have a 57 Ford Thunderbird in red with kind of this interesting stripe pattern on the side. Definitely screams late 80s or early 90s. Hot Wheels was making a lot of castings with kind of these similar paint schemes during that time. But this is from the Black Wall era, as you can tell by the wheels on there. But I thought that one looked pretty cool. There is some yellow scuffing on the roof. I might try to get that off somehow. But again, for 75 cents each, wasn't going to complain about that. Then last but not least, my favorite of the bunch, we have this Chevy Blazer. Kind of this off-road look with that. With those awesome decos on the sides there. You got the metal base, then you have the white plastic bed cap. You even have a motorcycle mounted to the back too. I thought that was a pretty cool touch. But yeah, there's the 6 cars I got from the thrift store. Was glad that I stopped in for sure. Now on to the next hunt. Back at Giant. That's kind of cool. All right, here's our finds from Giant. All fantasy castings, but still pretty cool nonetheless. That's probably going to be the last time that I look for Hot Wheels at that location for a little while until they get more just Hot Wheels in stock there. Because that was kind of the same bin. I was looking through it for several weeks now. And at this point, I have, I think, exhausted its contents, at least for me, as far as the cars that I want. But these were a good, I think, last little grab from that bin until Giant happens to restock, which will hopefully be soon. But first up, we have the Hot Wired from the HW Track Champ series. Kind of like an F1 car looking thing. You have two different styles of wheels on there too. We'll get this one out first. See how that one looks. It's actually pretty cool. I like the light blue paint on there. And you have kind of that red roll cage and stuff going on there too. Cool. Like the two different styles of the wheels too. Up next, we have the Quick Bite from the Sweet Ride series. This is like the hot chicken version. Hot Wheels has released several different variations, of course, of the Quick Bite with different types of food on the side and everything like that. The hot chicken one I thought looked pretty cool, so I decided to get it. Oddly enough, it's from the Sweet Ride series, even though this is like spicy food. So I thought that was kind of interesting how they picked that name for it. And this casting is actually fairly old. It first started out as a Good Humor ice cream truck casting, I think back in the 80s, I want to say. But here's the hot chicken version. And it is a plastic casting, but still pretty cool. Nonetheless, you got the nice menu deco on there and the hot chicken up there, the chicken symbol back there. And then you have, of course, the person inside there, too, serving up the chicken. Cool looking casting. Up next, we have the Velocita from the HW Art Cars series. I love the artwork on here, that like fish or something. It's a little bit on the creepy side, but I think it's kind of cool. Nice looking blade wheels on there too. Somehow I don't have this casting yet, but I do also collect the art cars if I do happen to like them. So this was definitely a good addition to have for sure. All right, there's Velocita. Oh, it's even like a matte white pattern. That is actually a really cool paint style on here and deco. I really like that. Even the headlights look awesome too. Very cool looking casting. Wheels look great too. Last but not least, we have another one of those like Lego brick car kind of things. This is Bricking Trails from the Brick Ride series. Special feature, of course, is going to be you can take off the different brick components and switch them out with other ones, or even put Legos on here too if you wanted to. I think that back part comes off too. Well, we'll see once we get the car out. Oh yeah, the spare tire piece comes off, and as well as the roof. Get this one out, last but not least. That was a bit of a struggle. There we go. Oops. All right, there's the, I already forget what it's called. The Bricking Trails. Of course, this pops off. This pops off. Oh, look, it even says Hot Wheels on the side there. You have the red kind of metal base, and then you have the rest of the cars actually plastic. This is pretty cool. You can kind of adjust where this sits and everything. A cool kind of easy way to customize a car with, like, you know, Legos and stuff. You can just stick them right on there. Very cool. All right, there's kind of our small haul from Giant. Hopefully I'll be out hunting for more Hot Wheels and Matchbox soon. Thanks for watching.